Alright, so a lot of leftists are absolutely gooning over the new picture that came out, right? Maga was just proven wrong. M dash in 2026, when you know that AIs are putting M dashes. What are you doing, Alex? What are you doing, my brother in Christ, right? But apparently, right, like these two individuals went around the moon. Here's the thing. You're the one saying that they're DEI. Like, isn't this a little bit bigoted? Because most of us here, you know, like in the land of actual bigots, we unironically just didn't give a shit about this mission. Like, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but it's true. Like, we have already been to the moon 5 times by now, right? And so, like, it's not a surprise anymore, right? It's kind of like saying, oh, look, these people went into a submarine. Isn't that amazing? No, it's not. It's really not. Now, the thing with going to the moon is that it's extremely expensive. And this is why, like, people just don't go. But it's not like it's a milestone or it's a huge achievement or it's like, oh my goodness, they went to the moon. No, and you know, like, regarding the DEI, like, you need to be an absolute moron not to understand that there is an optics level to this. Like, there is some level of politics involved. Of course they chose these people specifically so that individuals like you can post shit like this. Like, not for a single second do I not believe that there wasn't, like, some diversity statement in those files. I mean, again, it's 2026. Like, we know diversity statements exist, right? Like, Netflix has one, Amazon has one. They have it for movies. They have it for everything, right? And so, obviously, they were also thinking about a photo op. And it's like, let's put a black man, let's put a woman, let's put anything else, right? Like, this is how things go. And if you generally don't know this, then you're a child. Like, you belong at the children table because you generally do not understand the reality that you live in. Like, society is way too complex for you to make sense. Now, here's the thing, right? This guy goes on and says that Maga in the replies can't cope. Seeing a black pilot really pisses them off. It's like, wait, no, right? Like, you don't have a point when you say that black pilots were qualified. No one is saying that they're not qualified. People are saying that DEI means they're good enough, right? Like, they're willing to do the job cheap. And they're good enough to the point where the government has to mandate the quotas. Now, in this situation, the pilot was qualified for the photo op. Like, I'm pretty sure. But, like, obviously, you know, he is also qualified to be in there. Because he's not, like, morbidly obese or something, right? Like, he is not an elderly person that would die in the journey. So, yeah, like, the qualification right now to be on a shuttle is not the same like when Neil Armstrong took the first flight and he had to deal with those dangers at a time when people haven't actually flown to the moon before, right? But now, like, the technology is enough to make it safe so that pretty much anyone can go. Like, again, this is why it's not surprising. This is why, like, most of us aren't amazed. This is like telling me that the guy went to the North Pole and managed to sit there for a while. Or that he went into a submarine and saw the Titanic. It's a dangerous thing. You know, sometimes people can die. But again, it's not like as if he went to the Mars and set up a colony there. Or as he went to the space station, there was a critical malfunction and he managed to rally people to him with his leadership and managed to fix it. Right? Now, regarding black people going to space, you know, if you would have like South Africa or Nigeria or, you know, like an African nation that developed its own space program and started sending people to space, yeah, okay, I would be amazed, you know? I'd be like, wow, that's an accomplishment. You know, like the Chinese are doing it and other countries are doing it, sure. Or if you have a black person that becomes rich like Elon Musk and pours all of his wealth into sending satellites into orbit, okay, no, like, sure, yeah, no, that's amazing, you know? Or maybe you have, like, some black scientist from Africa coming up with an idea on how to colonize the moon. Or maybe one day, you know, if they do go to the moon and you have, like, some colonists that have survived on the moon for 10 years and they have managed to develop some vegetables or some plants that grow on the moon, yeah, okay, that's an achievement. But, like, the simple fact that you were just named, it means that, well, he had the necessary political connections in order to get the job. I'm willing to bet, like, at this point, you can literally go to the moon yourself, right? Like, if the government selects you, Alex Cole, to go to the moon, and you say yes, they put you in a rocket, and you're in the moon. It's not like, oh my goodness, look how difficult it was. Oh, man. We live in the age of ChatGPT. You can literally ask ChatGPT how to fucking pilot a rocket. Like, you have in your headset people telling you how to do it. You run simulations on Earth. You can get like 3 or 4 years training and you can fucking pilot a spaceship. I have absolutely no doubt, because other people can do it. If these two people can do it, I think you can. This is how we actually have the conversation nowadays. It's not, again, like sending people to the moon is not with the same technology and the same lack of knowledge as we did it in the past. It's seriously, you know, it's kind of like when you're the first guy that manages to like chart a new course with a ship in the age of sail, right? I mean, that is a fucking difficult job. Yeah, you're the first guy that figured out how to go to the new world without getting hit by storms or being taken away by currents and shit. The first guy that does it and the 10 other people that do it, yes, it's amazing. But imagine like comparing now with like some guy that takes a modern boat and goes to the new world. Like, is that any achievement? Is it any accomplishment? It's like, oh my goodness, I made the journey. I'm in America. People would look at you like, what the fuck? Like, of course you made the journey. And so, again, I'm not surprised that these individuals managed to make it to the moon. It's like, okay. Yeah, of course. Like, obviously, you know, it's expected. The only person that's actually bewildered by this was Joe Rogan. Like, I was actually surprised. Apparently, Joe Rogan doesn't believe that people managed to go to the moon. Like, he's bamboozled by this. There's like some radiation that people can't actually go past the radiation. And now he has to cope with the fact that, well, look, people passed. I see, like, the thing is, I can understand if you, like, don't believe that the first landings were real, right? Like, there are some people that, like, genuinely, like, unless they see it themselves, right? Unless they can touch it, smell it, like, they don't believe it. It's like, okay, fine. But you should also use some logic, like the Challenger mission, right? Like, it had people that were astronauts on board, and it exploded, like, people died. And so, like, this shows that, no, like, the government genuinely wanted to send people in space, but, like, it exploded, and they were going to pass that radiation field. So, like, the argument itself is just a little bit moronic. But yeah, again, I can't believe we're still having this conversation in 2026. Like, where the DEI hires? Yeah, they were specifically chosen for their optics. I mean, there is a lady on the Supreme Court of the United States that the president at the time, Joe Biden, literally stated flat out in front of the cameras he wants a black woman as a judge. And so when the president thinks like that, right, like, why wouldn't other people that worked under the president, like some people he got to name, his administration got to name himself, which I'm pretty sure like they're still operating, don't have the exact same mindset, right? Like, why wouldn't you put a black pilot to be on a spaceship? Like, do you think like they literally looked for him because he's the best, like, out of 360 million Americans? Do you honestly think like nobody else is better than him? You're delusional if you think that. Now, there is a possibility. Look, I'm saying there is a small possibility that maybe he is the best in the world. But with the leftist ideology and all of the diversity metrics and percentages and ESG scores and shit like that, nobody cares. Because, like, nobody looks at something that's done by the government and genuinely thinks, okay, this was out of merit. Nobody thinks like that. Everyone thinks now with the maximum cynicism and pragmatism. It's like, if I was a politician, what would I do? The photo op. Like, literally, this is why I'm paying hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars to get the photo op. This picture, right? And what do I want in the photo op? Well, I want diversity. I want feminism. I want, you know, like, modernity. So that's what you get. Anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.